All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Episode 5, the Heroes and Mutants podcast.
Super excited.
I'm Ruben here with my co-host,
Nick.
What up, guys? Josh.
All right, and we're missing our fourth man here, James.
Man down.
Man down.
Feel better, brother.
But feel better, James. Feel better, man.
You're here in spirit.
Yup. Most definitely.
No. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thank you for supporting us. Keep liking our videos. Keep subscribing. Keep sharing with your friends. I mean, we got nothing else. We're just chilling at home right now, so might as well just watch us. Enjoy. Entertain yourself through the weekend.
Something to look forward to aside from all the craziness going on. That's why it's like it's very cathartic for me. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I really look forward to it, especially just with what's going on lately.
Gives
us a little break and something to like focus on and not get caught up in all this hysteria going on.
Like you say, you focus on this for the people
you don't
out
go crazy
there
at home.
We're doing this for you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you guys.
We appreciate you guys
support
support us. All right, you guys ready to dive into these
Let's
topics
do
we
it,
got?
man.
All right, awesome. So starting off with Namor. I don't know if you guys heard them talks going on, but he might be joining the MCU, or there's talks on him joining the MCU. How do you guys feel about him coming in, and how do you guys think he should be introduced?
Namor's a good character for people that don't know him. He is from Atlantis. When basically in the comic books, he always goes. In the beginning of the comics, he goes against the Wakanda. He goes against T'Challa.
Okay.
They got some little beef, thinking because Wakanda, I guess, was one of the reasons why Atlantis sunk. So just got some revenge on that. But haven't really heard much about it. I know they're gonna be introducing him, like you said. Hopefully they do bring him in Black Panther too, since if they do follow the comic books, that would be a great way to have him in there as an introduction. Hopefully we do see him before. I know that they were saying maybe in either Black Panther, Doctor Strange 2 or the Eternals.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll see what happens. What do you guys think?
I've always liked him. I think I gravitate a little bit more towards Aquaman. I don't know. I just always like, the King of the Seas, the Poseidon type characters.
Yeah, he's Marvel. He's Marvel's.
Marvel's Aquaman essentially. So I've always thought he was, and especially just I think his backstory is really interesting. He was like technically considered like in terms of like a comic book kind of timeline, he's considered like the first mutant because he's his hybrid nature. He's considered a mutant, which is like weird. You never would associate him with the mutant. So he has this deep connection to like Wakanda and the X-Men universe. So he's a very, powerful character. He's somebody you can definitely build a whole franchise off of, and he can definitely have a lot of powerful, interesting stories, especially going into Atlantis and like and we've seen the possibilities of what modern technology can do in terms of bringing Atlantis to life. So I'm really, and just seeing this character interact with all these other characters. I feel like the best way they can introduce him is probably through Black Panther. I think he has like the deepest connection to him, or X-Men too now, just because of what's going on with the rights reverting back to Marvel. But
basically, like Nick says, if they introduce him as a mutant, that's a great way for an X-Men introduction as well too.
Yeah.
Well, especially because I feel like there can be a lot of contrasting, and there can be a lot of room for good storytelling, because I don't think he necessarily deems himself a mutant, or he still doesn't. He's more Atlantean at his core. Like I said, it's just a little bit weird that you don't really think of him as a mutant. I just think of him like kind of like Aquaman. Like you don't think of Aquaman as a hybrid. I mean, as a mutant. So I feel like he definitely, and I think a cool thing that they can do in connecting him to the story is because he ages a lot slower than normal humans. So in the comics, he actually fought in World War I with T'Challa's father, who was a Black Panther. It was the King of Wakanda, was obviously Black Panther at the time, and Captain America, Steve Rogers. And there was like a lot of interesting backstory that they can do. So like, I think that could be a good way, and just say like he was kind of in the background, and like he had a good relationship with T'Chaka. Maybe it went south somehow, and that can really cause like maybe he feels
betrayed.
A sense of betrayal. Maybe like Wakanda wronged him somehow, and that's maybe when he turned against humanity and started just having Atlantis closed off and really keeping to themselves and being very secretive about everything with Atlantis. So I think that can be a way to really introduce him in a way that makes sense, in a way to be like, well, he's just been in the background this whole time because he's distrusting of the surface people.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be cool, and he can definitely have that connection to the character, to Black Panther, like he does in the comics. So I can see him becoming maybe a villain and then like a later ally. And
maybe a good anti-hero for them to introduce and come in, you know? What's it called? Yeah, no, that would be a great way. Because he is an anti-hero, you know? He does fight against T'Challa, which T'Challa is a hero. And then once that happens,
I feel like
then
that's
they
more
start fighting
personal.
for
yeah, I feel like that'd be cool.
And I agree with
that
you
would
both.
Be great.
You know what
I mean,
saying?
they have Easter egged him in other previous Avengers movies in Endgame, I believe. So when Scarlet Witch is talking to OKA, which is Black Panther's like right-hand woman, she's like, oh, there's a earthquake in the ocean. And then OKA responds with like, oh yeah, it's an earthquake in the ocean. We deal with it by not dealing with it. So maybe she knows the history between Wakanda and Atlantis.
They got some beef or something.
Yeah, they got some beef. That's why she's like,
you know?
we won't deal with it because we'll deal with it. We already know who they are, so we'll just keep them at the end. But
or it's nothing to do with our land.
That could also mean that since there is a seismic change in the ocean, maybe he's preparing himself to come to Earth and try to take over Wakanda, which would be a great way for Black Panther too. Especially if they're going to be introducing them in later on stories. That would be great. Yeah. I mean, they still haven't talked casting. We don't know who it's gonna be, but for him to be introduced,
like you said,
yes, if they don't continue with that,
I think it's an interesting topic because I'm looking forward to him coming in. Like,
it's a new character too.
Yeah, it's a new character.
Water perspective,
like you said, he's an anti-hero. You know, like you say, he fights against Black Panther, but he's an X-Men as well. You know.
Oh yeah, he's fought with the X-Men. He's fought with. Well, what's it called? Also, Fantastic Four.
He pretty much fought with everybody, I think.
And that's what I'm saying.
And also, he is part of the Illuminati
Yeah.
with Doctor Strange and Iron Man. So I believe that's going to be another way for him to get introduced, especially since there's always that talk with Doctor Strange being with the Illuminati. They might.
He was kind of like not. He was like kind of a. He didn't really consider himself a full member since he was trying to see like what if they had any plans to do like acting against Atlantis.
Yeah, because he was also a defender. He was in a lot of stuff.
But he was actually the only in the Planet Hulk World War Hulk storyline. He was the only one who didn't vote in favor of sending the Hulk to outer space.
Oh yeah,
because he knew he was going to come back and was going to come back for vengeance. So I think that was interesting too, and like kind of a cool storyline.
They got a lot of ways. I mean, the Eternals, they have been speaking that mostly part of the whole movie is just going to be the brief history of everything that they went through. So you never know, maybe the sinking of Atlantis had something to do with the Eternals. They might show the way how Atlantis sunk underwater. They might be able to introduce him in there, and then once we have an introduction of who he is, then once we know where he's from and where he's close to, then they could just be like, that's the best introduction for him.
So we'll see what happens. Like you said, like Josh said, you know, there's no
a lot of stuff.
No actual or confirmed storyline.
Confirmed that he's gonna be introduced in the MCU, but we just don't have any confirmation.
Here's a quick knuckleball for you. Shout out to the Sports Dogs podcast. What's up, y'all?
What up, guys?
Love you guys.
Rick and Morty though, are all right. So let me rephrase it. I have it right here in front of my screen. Rick and Morty are confirmed to exist in the Marvel universe. Chances we could see a crossover in the future?
In comics, yes, there could be a crossover. Just, I mean, I know the way they introduced them in the comics right now was for the new X-Men series that came out. They just referenced them on the television, showing that Rick and Morty were there. Okay. So that was a good way to introduce them in the Marvel universe. Maybe that could be.
It was like a cool little shout out, or a cool little
shout out. You know, it's like you talked your smack on season 3 of Rick and Morty. It's like we'll give you some shine.
I don't know what could happen with that. How do you feel, Nick?
I feel more so in the comics. Like maybe like Marvel doesn't really do shows or like I could see a cartoon show they do it, but not like a live action show or cinematic movie. I think it could just be it could be something
little
like
cameo.
I think
just like little random cameos.
Because Rick and Morty is like, you know, cartoon, like
and it also
animated.
The most I could see is like a cameo, because Rick and Morty, the show takes place like they travel through different universes and different realities. So maybe they accidentally zoom themselves into like the MCU and be like, wait, what are we doing here? Like, oh, wrong universe. Wrong coordinates or something. But
they could just show like a random crossover. Yeah, you could do that. Just like random Deadpool.
Yeah, you know, somewhere in space with Marvel, Captain Marvel. I don't know, something.
Ends up being
the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy just pops up on the ship. It's like, who are y'all?
Like, what? Oh, wrong.
Good show though.
Wrong universe.
Wrong coordinates.
Wrong coordinates. Yeah, anything could happen.
Good show though. Rick and Morty.
Funny show.
It's like
check it out.
Yeah, actually, I need to keep up with that. I haven't. Like I said, the last time my little brother's into it a lot, and he's always telling me, watch it.
Yeah, but it's pretty funny.
It's funny.
But
it's really good.
I'm gonna have to. thoughts on the Marvel's What If series?
It's
What
gonna
have
be
you
interesting, man. It's gonna be very like I think the thing is because whenever you're sitting and like I think this is just in general, whenever you're watching a movie or show, just like you always have like what ifs, like what if this character did this? What if they did that? So I think
Yep,
though, and especially just
just like
because
the
like
comics, yep.
yeah, you think about like what if like Tony never went through what he did and
Yeah,
never
what if
became
you
Iron Man, or
survive
what if you
the whole
or just
Infinity
in
War?
general,
Yeah.
like what if he just never became Iron Man and that character ceased to like
Damn.
who would he have been had he not
What if
been on that path?
Bucky was Captain
Or
America instead of Steve Rogers?
or
Or
Iron Man never came back from like the movie, let's say MCU, what if he never came back from the desert
Yeah. I
and
think
like Pepper Potts?
what I like about it is
maybe she became Iron
She
Woman.
became, yeah, and it never started.
what I like about it is they don't necessarily have to create anything brand new. They can kind of work off existing ideas and just
Mhm.
and do them in like different ways and tell the interesting thing about it is like they can tell different story, like the same situations but different ways or like different like stories but with the same kind of like plot
They're
detail. But
probably
Yeah,
gonna
different
so
grasp.
I think
outcomes,
They're
and I
gonna
different
think
grasp
it's a way to
outcomes.
keep
concepts.
things like
Yeah.
fresh and maybe not they don't like okay, we don't exactly have to introduce new characters. Like what if it like the whole thing is like what if this happened? What if that didn't happen? So I think it's
Yeah.
interesting because like I've always wondered like certain plot details. Well, what how would the MCU or how would things look if characters did things in a different way or if they took different action or they didn't, follow that certain path
Yeah,
they
they're
were
gonna
on. Like
grasp concepts of the movie of
Yeah.
like every Avengers movie that's happened. Basically, like what if basically like the whole what if it's also gonna be an animated series. It's not gonna be a live action.
yeah,
So they have more of a liberty of expanding the reaches
which is
of
yeah,
it.
that's
Since
cool.
it is animated,
Yeah.
they could go as crazy and wild as they want.
I think it's just gonna get too like abstract and metaphysical though. It's you're just gonna be thinking of all these different possibilities.
Yeah, I
Dude,
mean that's the
and
possibilities that you get.
and I think that's what they created, because when I think of these series, we obviously go back to the comics, they got it from there, what
Always.
ifs, and there's a bunch of different storylines, different crossovers, there's Black Widow and the Thing, if I'm not
Thing,
mistaken,
yeah.
and then,
Or heck,
like you think about,
that's what Flashpoint was all about. Like, what if Bruce Wayne never became back? What if Bruce Wayne died? And then,
yeah,
what
so
if
that's like
Superman,
the DC,
Superman,
that's the
was
DC
never
universe
raised by
kinda,
Martha and
yeah.
Jonathan Kent? Like,
We just had to
that's-
go back to Flashpoint.
well, it just made me think.
love
That's,
that
that's
movie.
pretty much a what if.
Yeah, that is
essentially.
basically.
But I'm
yeah.
glad you brought that
And
up,
also, what also feels good about
keep
it
that in mind,
is
Nick.
the whole Doctor Strange thing. Like we're coming into that movie where they're saying that they're going to introduce the multiverse in Doctor Strange. So I feel like we're going to get a concept of what if, but in a real live action. Because they've been saying that maybe we might see Shuri as T'Challa instead of T'Challa being
Well, her as
That's
Black Panther.
yeah, or her as
true.
Black Panther, or maybe we see Peggy Carter being Captain America instead of Steve Rogers. Like it's gonna be a different way because he's gonna be going through multiverses. So he's gonna be seeing different characters being different actors.
That's true. But I wouldn't. I like how you kind of compared it, but I wouldn't kind of agree that much.
I'd say,
on
I
the
mean, it's
what
a
if
take two.
series.
Yeah.
Could be
Because
a
when
what
it's
if,
coming
you know?
into a movie, it's not
But
a
it's a
what if.
multiverse.
But when it comes into a movie, it's not
Yeah,
a what
but you
if
still have
anymore.
that. You still have that what if. So what if that world is the what if that you were thinking about?
Yeah.
You're like, oh shoot.
Well,
Pepper Potts
but
was
that's
Iron
the thing
Woman
about
instead of-
that's the thing with Doctor Strange though. What if that's just one of many possible outcomes?
Yeah, no,
and it's not
that's
a
why.
what if though. But see,
But it-
when it came into the movie, it wasn't.
Okay,
no
so
what
you're
if.
trying to
It was
get-
See, now we're getting
Yeah,
very
yeah,
abstract and
you're getting
metaphysical. This is
technical with
exactly this is
this.
exactly what I was talking about. Like
This gets
But
technical.
see, it gets technical. When it comes
Very
to what ifs, I'm
technical.
not thinking about no multiverse. I'm just thinking about different like crossovers,
Yeah.
different storylines, different.
Well, that's
characters
just my
with these
opinion on
characters.
me. I
That's
started
true.
thinking
And
about
that-
Doctor
that's
Strange,
cool.
and I'm like,
And that's what I like about this. It's not. It's boring when we always kind of agree.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like how we kind of argue. Makes it fun. I like
Yeah, definitely.
oh yeah.
it. But yeah, I feel like they could do anything with it. The What
Yeah,
If
that's-
series.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Delve
saying?
off into so
And
many
it's
Anything
different
can
also,
happen.
possibilities.
yeah, I don't think they'll postpone any for that. It's an animated series.
Yeah, it's
They
an
can look
animated
at it
series.
from home.
Yeah, you can
Just
do it from
animations
home. Like,
there,
hey,
you're
send me what
good.
you got, dude.
Yeah.
I'll download it, or send me the link. I got you. But that's all. That's all your thoughts on
Yeah,
the
I
What
mean,
If series.
Well, I'm just like more curious and interested to see what kind of storylines they come up with, or what kind of like what like how they're gonna go about it. There's so many different routes that they can do, so it's just exciting to see because we don't really know what to expect, and we're kind of on the edge of our seat.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
And also to see if any of the actual characters that played any of the Avengers will be coming into the What If series to replay the roles as just a voiceover, you know? Maybe we could see some.
Voiceovers. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's something else I'm looking forward to when it comes to the what ifs. You know, like
Yeah.
are they gonna
Hear the
reprise
actuals.
people,
Hear
but are
Yeah.
they gonna convert them to animated? You know, or like old school days. You know, like I always give shout outs.
Yeah, instead of getting a new actor, you're actually gonna get hopefully Robert Downey Jr. to be
That'd be cool.
Man, or Steve Rogers
Yeah.
to
You
play.
Be
know
like
what?
50,
America.
50 million for one line, but it'll be worth.
I know.
Hold
dude.
that
These
thought,
guys get
Josh. See, so
paid.
hold that thought on the.
He's gonna say, "I am not Iron Man." Get paid like $10 million.
Hold that thought, Josh, and then like I told Nick, hold
Mhm.
that thought on that Flashpoint.
Yeah, no problem. I'll try to remember.
So something else too, you know, like another 180.
What?
What is it?
Keanu Reeves. Well, not a 180, I guess I should say, because it has been going on for years.
Yeah.
Well, from what I know, you know,
Yeah.
these talks, Keanu Reeves, I guess it 70% confirmed, I would say, you know, that he might be coming. Because I don't know, you know, anything could happen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to confirm
Well,
unless
who are you talking about?
talking about Keanu Reeves.
No,
and
but
him
who is he gonna
portraying-
be?
Yeah, who
yeah,
would
that's
he
what I'm
be?
saying. He's gonna.
I know.
let me
Don't
Is it gonna be
finish.
John Wick in the
Let me
MCU or
finish. See,
what?
I'm
Like-
trying
John
to-
Wick at the MC.
I'm trying to, you know, keep the not
It's
the
in
tension,
suspense?
the suspense going. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I'm
The
on the edge
people
of my
don't know
seat.
what I might
I
be
know,
talking
I'm
about.
like-
They hear Keanu Reeves and they're probably thinking about John Wick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Matrix.
Neo's coming
Well, I
back.
mean,
He's out
I've heard
here.
of 2 characters actually. We'll reveal that after. Go ahead.
All right, but check it out. So he's in talks to portray Ghost Rider, and do you think he will happen? You think it will happen? You think we'll finally see him in the MCU? Like I
Well,
said, it's been going on for years.
From the
There-
interviews and what people have been saying and what he's been saying is that Marvel and Kevin Feige and Keanu Reeves have already basically they went through a list of all the characters that he would like to portray.
He would like to portray, yeah.
And basically they already came to the agreement that Ghost Rider might be the best fitted for him in the possibility. He would
Ooh, I
be
can
playing
see
he
him.
would take the role of Johnny Blaze. So we're gonna see a new role of Johnny Blaze.
role.
Keanu Reeves is good. You know, I mean, he has the John Wick experience. He has Matrix experience.
He has
so
all the action.
he has all that
experience,
action. He's really good.
But I don't know. He just if that's true, then he just has a lot to live up with. I mean, Nicolas Cage, you know, was like the greatest version of Ghost Rider I think we're ever gonna see.
That was a
Yeah.
good movie. It
Yeah,
was
for
very-
sure.
It had, it had
Both
its
of the-
moments. but-
The second one just came on like a few weeks ago, like a week ago
On TV?
on like HBO or something. I was like, oh my god, this movie's so trash.
Yeah, the second
But-
one I didn't like. The first one though.
the first one was good.
Decent-ish
Nicolas
for
Cage
the
is a
time,
good actor.
for the
For the
I
time,
guess.
exactly.
Like,
For
I
the
don't
time
know.
being, like exactly like if they had the CGI that they had today, back then, who knows?
Honestly,
Nicolas
but
Cage-
old CGI sometimes looks better than new CGI. See, new
I
CGI
guess
it
takes
can.
new
It can,
CGI
actually.
takes away from it, and they try to make it look so realistic as when old CGI, like we had the motion of like you actually see the fire in like a take where it's like more movie cinematic ways instead
Yeah.
of actually seeing real flames coming out and exploding on the big screen.
where
It's
you
like-
know, like okay, that
Yeah.
was remote
Yeah,
control
exactly.
right there. You know?
yeah,
But
like it's
I
not
had-
about.
I had
having it.
actually heard like before that he was in talks or there was rumors going on that he was in talks to play Moon Knight. And I
Moon
remember
Knight.
too. I
Moon
didn't really
Knight.
think of
That's-
Ghost
I
Rider.
think
I
that's
didn't
what I'm
really
talking
think because we know Johnny Blaze exists in the MCU.
Yeah.
We haven't actually we saw him I think like briefly in his Ghost Rider form before he transferred his power to Robbie. In
Robbie
Agents of
Reyes.
Shield,
Race,
but
yes.
because I remember before too, they were apparently Norman Reedus like a few years ago. There's a rumor going around that he was in talks to play
Oh
Johnny
yeah,
Blaze too.
I heard that too.
But that kind of
That
died
would've
down
been
after
cool.
not that
Norman
long. He
Reedus.
probably
Well,
could
because
have
he
done it.
stuck with The Walking Dead.
Shout out
Well, more
Norman
so because
Reedus,
he was on the
Daryl.
motorcycle as Daryl, so I think people like saw him and like his attitude, his mannerisms, the anti-hero persona. Like, oh, he's riding a motorcycle, he's an anti-hero. Obviously he can't do that southern accent, but you know that can be definitely fitting towards Johnny Blaze.
Yeah.
I would
Um,
want to see him as Johnny Blaze.
That would have been,
Or maybe,
would've been
badass.
maybe Robbie Reyes too. Maybe let's take.
Who
I
knows?
mean,
You
we
know,
see
he
him
could
as
probably
a,
do
we
that,
see him with the
but-
crossbow. I mean, Walking Dead. I mean, it's still going on,
Yeah.
guys. Don't
I
sleep
think
on that
that's
show. It's an amazing freaking show. The
That's
quality
great.
of the acting
Stop
is
watching it
great.
a while ago. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
It's
I
amazing,
ain't
dude.
gonna
To
lie,
where
I'm
where
gonna
it's
stick
at
with
right
it.
now, it's at season 10. You know they're doing good. I mean,
But-
I've been watching it, but in there he does. There's a scene where he has some chains and he's like whipping people. So
Oh man.
Oh, man.
seeing that and seeing Ghost Rider with that and seeing
Now,
him
why
do that,
have my
think
comics?
tell.
I collected them, most of them, and especially I definitely got the last comic book too.
For-
93.
Did you like the Robbie Reyes and
Oh,
Agents
Robbie
of Shield?
Reyes? Yeah, for sure.
Do you like
dude.
how he
Yeah,
acted
for
in
sure.
that one?
I liked him. So if he comes back as a portrayal, I think it's Gabriel
Gabriel Luna.
Gabriel
Luna,
Luna.
right?
Mm.
Yeah. So if he comes back, any way, somehow, I would like him to come back. But Keanu Reeves as a Ghost Rider, I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, him with the MCU, another role that they were wanting to give him was either Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock or Wolverine, but I would not see him as Wolverine.
I love Keanu, but not Wolverine.
Yeah,
not Wolverine.
No, definitely.
What about Gambit? Would you guys see him portraying a Gambit?
It's just that
with the John Wick hair.
Okay.
Like I could kind of see it. He's a little bit older now, so I don't know.
That's a great question.
But it's just that the Cajun accent he won't be able to pull off.
But see, the thing with the Keanu though is he still has the same face as.
That's true.
Every movie he's ever played in. And then with technology nowadays.
Botox.
Easy fix, dude.
But it's just like
none of that, boo.
He would just all I really question about is if he could pull off an authentic Cajun accent, which I highly doubt.
Cajun,
that's so.
But then again,
that's so instrumental to who Gambit is,
Cajun
Gambit is as a character.
Pretty hard.
It's very hard.
He is into all the martial arts, samurai, and all that kind of stuff. He's into a lot of Japanese arts, I guess I should say.
But I could see it working as the Johnny Blaze version of Ghost Rider. I don't know how exactly they're gonna think about bringing him in, but I think just because now too he's starting to find his footing more. Like when he did John Wick in 2014, that was like a lower budget film, and nobody, and it kind of came out of left field. Like it was a sleeper hit. Like you didn't expect to see that kind of action.
Yep.
And also like Keanu in his scenes where he had to really drive that intense emotion. He really did a good job with that. So I think now we're in a spot too, and he signed up for another John Wick, and then Matrix, he's coming back. So I think now he's starting to find his footing and be comfortable doing those bigger budget films. So I can definitely see.
He also has the experience of having trilogies on him. So if they're trying to do something like that with the MCU, they're definitely great actor.
And he'll be the next big my bad, Nick. Go for it.
Oh no, I was saying I feel like he's starting to find his confidence and comfortability with coming back to doing big budget films again.
Big budget films, yeah.
I feel like now is probably the best time if they were going to bring him in just as a character, it'd probably be now.
It'd be now.
The MCU.
Yeah, before he gets any older.
Well, no, just because he still has that star power. He's proven that he can still.
He's crazy. He's on his prime. He's on his prime.
Which is weird because he is in his mid-50s.
That's what I was gonna say. It's weird because
he stays fit, man.
Those movies that he has done, they were
all physical.
They were all physical. They're all cool hits.
And especially because what I was most impressed with was like when he was doing John Wick, he was like already in his 50s and he did like 80% of his stunts aside from the
he
big
likes
falls.
to do his stunts.
Well, just at his age, though, that's incredibly impressive.
Hell yeah. Shout out Keanu Reeves.
I ain't gonna lie. I think he's
great actor.
This is something else, but I think he's better than Tom Cruise when it comes to doing his own stunts.
Maybe, yeah. I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan.
Well, me either. That's why I'm saying that I like Keanu Reeves.
I mean, you definitely got to give your props to Tom Cruise for
that's
just being willingly putting himself in those. Just willingly putting
Mission
himself in those situations.
He gave out his body a lot. He gave up his body.
And
in
his the earlier, like when he was younger too, and Mission Impossible 1 and 2, he was actually pulling off some pretty cool stunts and doing kind of like capoeira and like taekwondo kicks, which is pretty cool. I've seen an actor pull off that
because he was young. He was
already approaching. He was approaching his 40s, but I'm just saying, like,
he's try to do a kick and throw out his hip.
And here's another fact I want to throw out there. Not trying to talk smack, but I guess kind of is. Tom Cruise isn't as tall as he looks in the films. Just remember that too.
They said he's like 5'4", 5'3", something like that, right?
He's shorty, really.
He's a short ass dude, dog. He's a short ass dude. But like I said, that's a whole different
president of Scientology.
A whole different other topic.
Oh God.
But talking about, it doesn't matter what universe, DC, MCU, Image, whatever.
Yeah, we get an A. Hopefully.
Next hero you would want to see get a solo movie. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
Josh is in deep philosophical thought, like he's gonna win a Nobel Peace Prize. So
I'm going back to that, like our favorite animated movie, and honestly, I would really want to see it in a live action. Would be a Flashpoint movie.
Flashpoint.
I would honestly. Damn. I know they might not show like the whole Batman side of it because it has to do that aspect of the whole Flash series, but I really want to see Lauren Cohan and Jeffrey Morgan as Thomas Wayne and the Joker. I believe she would kill it as the Joker. Seeing her portrayal, just knowing that Bruce Wayne is dead and having them come back. I mean, I know they come back. Batman Begins, they're the parents of Bruce Wayne, so having them come back to a Flashpoint movie would be pretty good, dope ass to see.
Batman.
You got Maggie and you got Negan and the DCU.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. How about you, Nick?
I think you guys are probably gonna know what I'm saying since I'm like you guys know that he's my favorite hero. I'm definitely gonna say Nightwing.
Yeah.
Especially because of all of the details about how Chris McKay wanted to film the movie and he wanted it to be very action stunt like martial art driven and the lead actor whoever got casted as Nightwing was gonna have to be going through like
Yeah.
multiple weeks of actual like authentic
Combat
martial arts
training.
training, stunt fighting. And just because like he's I think just because of the fact he's associated with Batman, people assume he's just like Bruce, but they're polar opposites. And I think that's one of the amazing things was like I had mentioned that he was raised by Bruce. It's that essentially it's like he retained all of the great qualities and all the best of Bruce, but he shied away. He really rejected all of the weaknesses of Bruce with the being a
Yeah.
loner and being so distrusting and building out
Which is the compassion that he had for
the compassion, the
it's a
love that
different
he has.
personality.
The
Was
heart,
just a different
at the
outlook
core,
than Batman's.
at the core of his being, he's the heart of
Mhm.
wherever he is, in whatever group he's in, and just the fact he just goes above and beyond for the people,
Yeah.
and just in general, he just really he fights for a better tomorrow.
I would rather see a
And-
Nightwing movie than a Robin movie. I feel like there would be more action.
Right, do you mean Dick Grayson or
Dick
both
Grayson.
Dick Grayson?
Yeah.
Well, they probably wouldn't make a
Damn.
Raw. I feel like a Nightwing movie, they definitely have more material and better stories. to
Yeah,
tell.
they
most
would.
definitely.
So,
Especially
like,
since
he-
they haven't done anything.
I,
with it.
I probably would have said Moon Knight if not because he's also a very interesting character.
Moon Knight.
Yeah. Just because he's so psychotic and so wacky and just he's an awesome character too. You can have a lot of great action
Well,
sequences.
Moon Knight's
but-
in the talks to be a series. And
Yeah, he's in the talks.
He's going to
He's in
be
the
coming
talks. I don't
to
know.
a series in the MCU.
yeah.
Is it gonna be TV series or
I-
like a movie? He's
I
gonna
bel-
come out.
if I'm correct, I
think
think it's going to be no movie. Yes,
movie,
it's
right?
gonna
Yeah,
be a
I was
movie.
gonna say I was waiting for you. To
But how-
Daniel Radcliffe supposedly in the talks to it.
Oh,
Not
shit.
confirmed yet. Maybe he is. I don't know. See,
Good
we're
actor. I
seeing-
think he could pull it off.
Damn. Okay.
You think you could pull it off?
I think he could pull it
Well,
off.
he has that darkiness, like you said. I mean, Moon Knight is very
Psychotic.
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 I think
Wall.
him and what was that? What's that magic movie that he came out? Now You See Me,
Now you see me.
number 2.
Oh, the second one he
Now
was
You
in,
See
yeah.
Me
Yeah.
too.
He
Yup.
played that random crazy magician. I was like, all right.
But if they
Man.
do, it's just that I don't know if that's the direction the MCU will want to go in. Like you have to have it rated R. It has to be a hard PG, like pushing the pushing
Little
the
by
limits
little,
of,
they're
Marvel
leaning
has
that
to push
way.
the boundaries of
they're-
getting to that rated
Yeah.
R.
See, this is why I
They
shout out
have
to Ryan Reynolds, dude, because he's over here pushing those boundaries. He wants to. See,
Marvel might
Logan
do
wouldn't
rated
have
R
done
movies.
that. Logan wouldn't have done that movie if it
Yeah.
wasn't for Deadpool.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
and it all had to do with Ryan Reynolds.
So,
Yeah.
That's what I love about
Shout out
that.
Logan.
Dude.
No, man, it was all about Watchmen.
Greatest
in
movie.
2009.
Ah,
Show the
man.
possibilities of what a successful superhero movie rated R could do.
That's true.
Watchmen
Shout out to
was
Zack
good.
Snyder. You're the GOAT.
Yeah,
But see,
Zack
from,
Snyder.
from what
Yeah.
James was saying last time too, though, remember they just did that one time. Well, the new one season
What?
Yeah.
Watchmen. It's only been a one season Watchmen, and James was saying, or was it you, Nick, that said after
No,
the way
it
it
was-
ended, it was James, right? After the way it ended, he feels like there's no reason to make a second.
Well, apparently the
Season.
showrunner only wanted it to be
One
one
season.
season though, and he was like, "If you guys want to continue it, you guys can, but I'm done."
And it was on what? What
It was on
again?
HBO.
HBO.
It was a great series.
Wait, but I don't think you ever, Ruben. You never said what character you're looking forward to.
Oh yeah,
that
man. We've
solo
been
film.
talking about it for these. We've been giving hints and we haven't given in our opinions, dude. I've been wanting Gambit, man. I really
Yeah.
want
I love
Gambit,
Gambit, man.
dude. Like
Right now
I
would
don't,
be
I
a
don't
good time
care.
to
Like,
introduce
we be
him.
talking about him here and there, but like I'm not holding back on my feelings, my opinion. I really want him to have his solo film. I've been waiting on this since X-Men Origins.
Those Origins.
And,
Yeah.
dude, yeah, and
Well, especially because like Channing Tatum has been attached to that role for like 6-7
Yeah.
years, ever since like 2013, 2014. And just, they had, we have a director, and then the director drops out, and yeah, we're gonna film, and then
yeah.
it's just
It's
so
just, they
frustrating.
can't find a
because-
good concept to it.
And see, at
probably. I
this
mean,
point, since I know we've been talking about him all this for a couple of times, Channing Tatum, I did want Channing Tatum to come back, but at this point, I'm like, dude, if you guys get another good actor, I don't care who.
Just
who's
give me,
gonna
just
play.
give me
Just
Gambit.
give me a Gambit movie. If you give it to me, it's cool. I don't care if it's bad or not. I
You
will
just
judge
want
you if
another
it's
Gambit
bad, but
movie?
I know not another Gambit movie. I want a solo
A solo
Gambit.
Or how
movie.
about another Magic Mike 3, but he has a Gambit
Nah,
routine. Will
nah,
you-
nah,
Was that what you want?
Down.
I can see the spark in your
Instead of
eyes.
him
So.
flipping
Nah, nah.
the pole, he's flipping on it.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh,
Or he's spinning on it.
yeah, there you
Well,
go.
at least I
Doing
know
his little
what's
ballerina
I know
flip.
what's on your guys' thoughts.
Well, not
I can read
Nick
thoughts,
brought
so
it up.
it's
Nick
bro.
brought it
Nah,
up. Don't
nah.
drag me in it. I'm just joking.
You agreed with them, bro. It's
Oh,
okay.
shut up.
No, I'm just saying.
Not
though,
judging
you-
here though. I don't judge, bro. It's all cool. I'm not lying. I don't judge. I love you guys. You guys are good.
No.
You guys are
He
cool.
definitely judges when the cameras aren't rolling. He definitely judges.
See, now you guys are spreading rumors. This is how rumors starts, guys.
Shut up.
This is how rumors start.
It's okay. They're loyal.
Man, I'm gonna write a comic
They're
book
loving.
about you guys. I
Yeah,
might have to run them.
He's gonna yelp
put you guys
us.
in a comic book. I'm gonna call you Jig, and I'm gonna call you Nosh.
Jig and Nosh.
Chicken Nosh.
Chicken Nosh.
I like it.
Let's do it.
My rapper name now.
Let's do it. Let's make a show
Super-
out
my
of it.
superhero
Alright,
name.
then. So talking about
Coming to
all these
Twitch.
movies
Nick
and
and
all
Nosh.
that. Worst costume in a comic book movie.
Man,
What do
there's
you
a
guys
bunch.
think? There is a bunch, and there's all these weak
For me,
ass
honestly,
leather.
because of just how underwhelming that movie was and how hyped I was for it and hyped I was for this character,
What are you gonna say?
I definitely got to go with Apocalypse in
Yes.
X-Men
Oh, and the new
Apocalypse in
X-Men
2016.
Looking like
Damn.
Mr. Ooze from Power Rangers.
Yeah, when the
Oh
minute
my
the minute
God.
they revealed first photos of him on in costume, I was just like, I didn't really panic so much because I thought they were gonna have a lot of CG. Oh, that's just how he's gonna look for now.
Yeah.
Maybe especially because he can like shapeshift and transform and change his body mass. So I thought maybe that was just like maybe he just got out of like hibernation or whatever it was, and that's just the form he takes. And then when they actually revealed the trailer and that was the same look, and I'm like, damn, I didn't even want to see the movie anymore. Like I was so upset that they were portraying him like this that. You know, he looked like Ivan Ooze, like one of Ivan Ooze's kids,
Yeah.
like those
that's
kids
what I
that
was like,
explode
that's
when they
all
hit the wall, and I'm like,
Like a
I
weak ass
can't, I
That's
can't
all I
see it.
thought when I was watching the movie. I'm like, I just thought, Ivan Ooze.
Or maybe more so just because the movie sucked, and I would have been a little bit more forgiving had like Oscar Isaac actually shown up to instead of just taking a page, doing it for the money. And
Oscar Isaac is a good.
oh, he's a good actor, but
Yeah,
you can
Star
tell
Wars.
you can tell he wasn't
He wasn't
actually
in the
trying.
role. Yeah.
He wasn't
Yeah.
actually trying, and it more so just like I could have forgiven it had the quality of the movie been good, but with a bad quality movie and a bad villain who's supposed to be like X-Men's worst villain, or I mean, best villain, like you can't. I'm sorry, I can't forgive that.
Even if
all
it's
piles up.
probably not costume, but just overall makeup, Jared Leto as Joker. That was the worst
know.
makeup
For real?
ever.
I know Ruben's
done.
gonna
So
like
you're just
that.
going, nah,
I don't
no,
like
James
it.
would've liked
I
it, I'm
mean,
sorry.
that take of the Joker was.
I
I've
hated
never
that,
seen a
dude.
comic portrayal of it like that, and just having him come out all gangster, wanting to be a badass. Like, no, you do
Nah.
not pull it off. That makeup. Other than that, another one I had a problem with was Doomsday and Batman vs Superman. Oh no, wait, that's the one. Is it? Doomsday?
Yeah, Doomsday was.
Yeah.
Doomsday.
Yeah, I didn't like how he looked either in that one.
Mm.
He looked all moldy and he looked like he was just like a lava monster.
But do you really consider that a costume? Because
No,
it's
but
not
it's
something
just
he was.
CGI.
It was more CGI.
Oh shit!
Or you can say like worst portrayal, also
overall.
like yeah, worst portrayal overall or worst
Okay,
look.
mine. Yeah,
But
now
makeup,
mine
yeah.
would have to just be most of the X-Men movies.
The costumes in
The
that.
costume in the X-Men
The
movies.
flight
I don't
suits?
know. Just yeah, the flight suits.
I felt like they were just so basic.
Or
Like,
that-
I know they just
like
get
they don't
Or
say
that Batman
suit up.
and Robin with the.
They don't say
oh my
yeah.
god, we don't talk about
nipples.
that.
They don't say suit up or anything, but like when they're gonna catch flight, you're like put on
Suit
the
up.
suit up, and the X and the leather and.
Did they have a catchphrase for suiting up?
No, they
No,
didn't.
not really. They
No, they
just-
didn't. They didn't. They literally didn't.
No,
they
they
just they were either in the house or wherever they were at, and then they ended up on a plane
And
or
then
where
they
they
were
were
on the
supposed
they were
to
on
be.
the
Yeah,
they were on the X jet. They were on the jet, and
they were on
then
the-
then
they
they
were
were
take
or
off.
they were there where they were supposed to be. So that was something different. That's but yeah, other than that, it's like yeah, X-Men.
Green
I hated
Lantern
all.
had a pretty bad suit.
Oh,
See,
it was
but,
pretty. It was all
uh,
CGI. It was really
Yeah,
bad.
it was a lot of CGI. You can tell, dude.
The mask, his mask, he just looked weird when he had the mask on. I'm like, why does it
super
look
fake. Super fake. You could tell, like, okay, those aren't his real eyes. Those aren't his real eyes. You can't even
Yeah,
tell that's not a
obviously,
mask on his face. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, other than that, like that's CGI. But like when it came to real uniform, yeah, like
Okay, no.
the X-Men, all of them. I don't know, that leather just
Yeah, it wasn't good.
It wasn't good at all.
Or I would have also said Doom from Fantastic Four, the most recent, the reboot that came out in 2015.
Okay.
His costume was literally just his suit. It's just he like
The one with Michael
he-
B. Jordan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he like morphed somehow with I can't remember the movie because God, it was just so awful. But he like morphed with
I
some
didn't like that crew
substance,
either.
the alien substance. So it was just like the spacesuit that he was wearing.
Yeah.
It's just it, like morphed around his body, and he just looked sick, and it didn't look like Doom. Like
I like the first I guess the first original
The
Fantastic
original
Well,
Four.
because
Doom?
it was
Yeah,
very
Oh
well.
yeah,
it
no,
looked
At least
more
the look for
the
Doom,
graphics and all
he
that.
looked so much like the comics. It looked the movie itself was for the time, I guess it was decent, but you look back on it,
yeah.
obviously, but at least the costume, he at least Doctor Doom looked cool.
Doctor
Yeah,
Doom looked dope. Yeah,
yeah, man. But like Nick said, there's a lot of ugly or horrible costumes that
they could
have
have
been
done
in
better on
films or
some.
movies,
A lot.
and you know what's crazy about it? That they had the money to spend. You know what I'm saying? But I guess
The one costume I wanted
equipment
to
was
see
more
was
expensive.
Wolverine when
Oh,
and
his
that Wolverine movie, the second one, the one in Japan when they give him the actual Wolverine suit. I would have wanted to see that one.
Dude, well, I feel
Live
like
action,
that
I
with the
think.
X-Men, if they would have given them the actual X-Men
But I would want
suits
Hugh
that we've seen in
Jackman
the
to
comics and all that, I think it would have been perfect.
Well, why do you think they never went with the classic X-Men suits? Was it they didn't want it to be like look too colorful, too campy? They thought it would look too kiddie?
I feel
I
like that
feel
has
just because
something to
everyone
do
had the
with
same
it.
costume, so maybe they wanted to keep it legit, where it's just like Wolverine just doesn't care about a costume, where he just rather
I don't think it
fight
had to
with the
do
tank
anything
top
with
and his
just it being
jeans
junior,
instead of him
Wolverine though.
actually having. I mean, in the
Freaking
first
Jean
X Men
Grey.
movies, he wasn't really big part of the X Men. You know, he was always just walking in and out whenever he
Well, he
needed
was
something.
the odd man out. That's why. And
Yeah,
that's
Lo-
how he's
lo-
always
lone wolf,
been
lone
though.
wolf,
so
lone
He's
wolf.
a
yeah,
lone
the lone
wolf.
wolf. And
Yeah,
so in the
and
comics, you do have like all the adventures that they do go on. So that's where you do see him wearing that outfit. So I don't think since the X Men have really taken that sort of turn to their movies that they have, they just probably just showed the costume without having them in it. Maybe the MCU might bring in the costume, but we'll see how they
well,
do
the Days
that.
of Future
I,
Past have
I
been
just
trying to
don't
do
want
this.
them to bring in a
Days of
Wolverine. I'm
Future Past,
sorry.
well, the X-Men that have been coming out, the recent ones, they have been having the same
But Hugh Jackman's
outfits.
come out in the new X Men, so it's like that's
But
just
they
old
see, but
Matt
they still had the
Logan.
same suits though. Other than him,
Yeah.
they still had the same
Yeah,
suits.
well,
So
he
they could
never
have
wears
done
Little-
that.
little more
I feel
colorful
like they
now.
could have done
cameos.
that.
Yeah, more colorful.
I feel like they could have
more
done
tight.
that
Yeah.
when they did have the original character cast. That's just my opinion.
That was a good
That's just my
cast.
opinion.
Yeah, it was a good cast.
Great cast.
Moving on though, moving on. Something
What's next?
expanding.
What's next?
What's
What is it? What you
expanding?
got?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the
Yes.
Power Rangers comic books.
Ooh,
Yup,
okay.
look at that.
Look at Nick
Look at all
within
that
the
green right there,
turtles.
Nick.
The turtles.
The crossover comic that released last year. Well, end of the year, I guess.
Like
we should
End of the
say.
year.
October,
October
December.
2019. Yeah.
Between
Yeah.
that time frame, 2019.
New crossover. And
Mm, what do you guys think about that?
I read the first couple of issues and it was just packed full of 90s kids nostalgia.
I did
They
see
all-
that.
they
I
like
did
all
see
the-
that.
all,
Reading
like, they
those comics
say-
was a good throwback. Yeah.
It was really cool because and it was the original cast of Rangers. So it was
Mhm.
Billy, Trini,
Tommy,
Jason, Tommy, Zach,
Kimberly.
and Kim.
Kimberly. Yeah.
But it was that original cast. And
That's my favorite
Best cast.
I think the only thing that
Favorite
I
cast.
thought was like that kind of threw me off a little bit was I thought they were going to be like a multiverse, like some kind of technology or some kind of
Okay.
like wormhole was going to connect their universes.
Oh yeah,
but
they're one connected
they-
universe.
Yeah,
they
they're
live in the
connected,
same
yeah.
So
one.
like the turtles have heard of the Power Rangers, but the Power Rangers haven't
Never
heard,
heard
of
of
the
the
turtles.
turtles.
Well, which I kind of thought about, and I'm like, wait, why don't they know? I'm like, oh wait, they're ninjas. Like they don't
Well, they stay in the
They hide in the
shadows.
They stay in the
secret.
shadows.
Yeah.
They stay in the shadows.
Not
and
only
they don't-
that, they
live in
live
the
underground in
sewers.
the sewers.
they're kind of
Yep.
they're kind of like myths or legends. Like people are like, hey, those turtles, and like wait, there hasn't been any documented any
Story.
documented evidence
Oh yeah,
of the
I mean,
turtles.
and the comics are also in the movies
So,
where they've come
and-
out. They never have any news
No
because they always
evidence.
disappear
Yeah.
before after they
Yeah.
beat the Foot Clan. They always disappear, so they never have any. So I could see where they don't know.
And
who-
even in the recent movies, when they show like the end credits and all that, when they try to get a glimpse of them, either like Mikey, Ralphie, or Leo were all hiding behind a sign or a letter or something.
just like a
They're
little
always
silhouette
hiding,
of
dude.
them.
Yeah, they're
so
always
you never
hiding,
know.
man. They're always hiding.
Good comics though. They're really good graphics. Great.
Yeah.
drawings.
What have you guys read into that though? Or do you guys think there will be some sort of crossover in the?
Well, for one, it was really cool because like what I was looking for is to see how they interact with each other and how they go about. They're both teenagers, so they both kind of have like that, and then they have like contrast. They have like similar personalities and contrasting. Like
Mhm.
Billy and Donnie obviously get along like perfect because they're the
Mhm.
brains of their group.
Yeah.
And like Billy asks Donnie like, "Hey, if you want, you can come." You can come to Angel Grove and help me work on the Megazord, and Donnie's just like, you'll actually let me drive it, and and obviously like
You get to see the
Jason and
interaction
Jason and
between
Leo are
them.
the leaders, so like they
Yeah.
kind of have this
Yeah.
natural like tendency to like bond with each other, and it was really cool to see like that kind of rapport and just see them interact with each other because like Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles to me were huge parts of my childhood. So
Yeah,
I
They're big
have, and
highlights.
and
We all
yeah,
grew up
definitely.
with
you know,
that.
especially it was one of the things that really got me like
Yeah.
once I started practicing martial arts. Everybody wanted to be a Power Ranger or a Ninja Turtle, but it was really cool to kind of see them interacting with each other for the very first time. And to get back to your question on, I do think like a crossover can work. Um,
Cinematic.
a cinematic one, I
Yeah.
think definitely can work. It's just it'll probably have to take some time to actually do it. Just
It'll take
because
a
of the
good
state,
while.
because of the state that they're both in, and I think with the Power Rangers, they want to do like a soft kind of reboot.
Yeah.
Compare to
Compared to the
the
past
2017
couple,
one.
yeah,
Well,
I don't
this was
like it.
because Hasbro made a deal with the people who
Was
do.
it Saban Entertainment? I
Yeah, I
think. Or,
believe so. That's why the whole project came in to just have them cross over. But a live action movie would be pretty dope.
yeah,
I think it could happen because I mean we haven't seen we have seen both recent Ninja Turtles and Power Ranger movies, but they weren't as good as in my opinion they weren't as good at as I thought they could have been.
The
I mean, the
Power Rangers movie?
Power Rangers movie was better, was probably better than the Ninja Turtles movies, but it's still kind of,
Not better
it
than the
was
first one
underwhelming.
for sure.
Oh no,
Though.
not of course not, but it was
I
still,
mean,
underwhelming to me.
Yeah,
yeah.
see, so that's what I'm saying. So I think with the way those movies came out, anything could happen with both of them. I think they could reboot the Ninja Turtles, they could reboot the Power
Well,
Rangers.
they're trying to do like a soft reboot of the Power Rangers movie. It's not going to have any of the cast from the 2017 movie, but
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
they have that on plans. Like
Oh yeah, I
they
have
want
read
to move
about
That's
forward
what
that.
I'm
with it.
saying,
They're
dude.
trying to
But as
bring
far
Ivan News to a
as
new
far
Power
as the
Rangers
Ninja
movie.
Turtles, I don't think there's any talks or any immediate plans for what they want to
Yeah,
do with the
there
future in
isn't.
terms of a cinematic universe or any movies coming
Yeah,
out.
There
the
isn't.
start was just the comics.
Yeah.
They're like, let's
Which
see
was
where they
cool.
go
But
from.
that's
was
where
great.
they
It was
get all
great.
their ideas
comics.
from,
Yeah, you
Yeah, that's what I'm
guys-
saying. Like it's a cool idea that they come out, and it just recent. It just came out towards the end of the year,
Yeah,
this past
October
year.
2019.
Still
so
fresh.
it's
We're still
recent, very
fresh into
recent.
this
Yeah.
new
Something
year,
new
Yeah, so
comics
it's still
to read
new,
up
and
on.
a lot could happen. I could see it happening though. Like if nothing good happens with the Power Rangers or the Ninja Turtles,
Maybe
they
even an
might,
animated series.
they
Maybe
might,
a
yeah, they
cartoon
might
would
mess
be
Or
good.
around.
animated would be cool too.
That'd
Yeah.
be good.
They might mess around and just throw something
DCU,
together and make it
Start
happen.
thinking about things. they could
DCU,
do.
I don't know. They tried doing that Batman
Batman
and
and
Ninja
Ninja
Turtles,
Turtles,
but
yeah.
It was pretty cool.
since
Could
since
work,
the
especially
DCU,
now.
yeah, it could, but since the DCU, I was talking to Nick about this earlier too. Since the DCU ain't at its
Finest.
finest, and they still don't even know where they stand compared to the MCU, they can't do a movie like that. I don't think just yet.
Crossover series would be good though.
They can animated, like you were saying.
That'd
I
be
think
pretty
if
cool.
they could do it animated, it could happen. But I would like to see a live action one. A
That would
live
be
action
dope
one
too.
would be way
Definitely.
better.
Everything live action would be good.
I'm an action kind
As
of
long
man,
as
dude.
the
I
CGI
like
don't
that.
kill
I
it
like
and they
that.
don't add too much.
All right, talking about the Power Rangers, let's take it way back to the 90s.
Better to
How do you
younger.
guys feel about that movie, 1995 movie, Mighty Mutant Power Rangers and Ivan Ooze?
Mighty Morphin Power.
Oh, Mighty
Rangers.
Morphin.
Yeah, Mighty
Damn,
Morphin.
Mighty Mutant. Man, I'm
You're
thinking
still
about our
thinking of
podcast.
mutants,
No, I'm thinking
yeah,
about our
yeah.
podcast, dude. Mighty Mutants. You know, we
Heroes
talking
and
about all these
Mutants
series. Yeah,
podcast.
exactly, dude. That was on me. Good for the correction. I appreciate y'all. See, this is why I have my peeps right here. That's why I have y'all.
That was a
So
good
the Mighty
movie.
Morphin
That was a good
Power
movie.
Rangers and
Very,
Ivan
very
Ooze.
cheesy looking back on it now, but just when you went to go see it, because I was 4 when that movie came out, and I remember going to see it, and it was just really fun. Seeing it's kind of different because at that time you didn't really see like show ones that started off at shows and then get like movies. So that was really cool at that time. Like you're
Alright.
like, hey,
And it was
we
a
were
real life
seeing-
superheroes
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
You didn't
the
have
costumes were obviously
animated.
a better quality. They weren't just like spandex.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you guys know, it's an interesting fact, but they actually originally shot part of the movie without their visors in. Like they had their helmets on, but they were like, "Hey, we can't.
They can't see.
We
well,
can't
no,
see, yeah.
we want to see their emotions so that they can. They're because of acting, so they can see
Yeah.
their expressions.
Mm,
So they actually
okay.
shot some of the movie, like some of the scenes, without their visors in. So you could like they had the helmet on,
Yeah, I seen a
but-
couple photos like
which was
that,
weird.
too.
Like looking at it, like how could you take it seriously? Like, you're fighting somebody and
No, you see
they
it's
like
just-
But you
they
can
have
see
a
their
helmet, but
eye-
you-
yeah,
no,
yeah.
you could still see their face because and then they
but it's
were
just
looking.
open, yeah.
Yeah, they were looking and they went back and looked at the footage and they were like, wait a minute, people are gonna know their identities. So they went back and filled it in with the visors and reshot all those scenes. And I'm
That'd
like,
be freaking-
who the hell's idea was that? Like, are you guys that stupid?
That would
Like,
be hilarious. It's like, oh my god, I like your eyes. Well, smack.
but yeah, looking back on it now, very cheesy, but it was cool at the time. It had a simple plot. Action was cool, and I definitely like they try to kind of do something a little bit different and have
Yeah.
like the sacred animals of the Ninjetti and have their their powers based off of animals and have an animal spirit. and then they lose their powers too. So that was really cool.
Great fighting scenes. I
Yeah,
liked
some
all
awesome,
that fight
really cool
Yeah,
fights.
scenes.
it's all original fighting scenes. I like the action, the combat, and the storyline. I think it could
Storyline
have
was
been a
good.
little better, but it was pretty cool. It was
Like
for that
like
time.
Nick said,
I
it was
guess
cheesy, but I mean that's how our
It was,
for
it
the
was,
stuff.
time
it was
That's
for
how it was
kids.
back then.
It,
For
it
like
was
I
us,
for
said,
you
for the
know?
kids.
time being,
So
yeah, it was definitely for
The
kids
way
because they knew
cartoons
they were
are
the only people
now,
that were gonna.
it's just all depicted.
and
Because
that's
now,
well, and it's just weird too. Like critics will come out and they judge this movie and compare it to like a Godfather kind of movie or like very very high. Like
Yeah.
this isn't that demographic. This is for kids. Like that it's not gonna. Obviously, it wasn't meant to be viewed in that specific way. It was just meant to be entertaining for kids.
Yeah.
Like who grew up on this kind of stuff and really love and appreciate the Power Rangers. Like
Well,
Yeah.
because those movies also followed the show, like
Yeah.
mostly a lot of those
Mhm.
movies you would go throughout the seasons, and then once the season comes, it'll be like, all right, we'll give you a movie, and then either that movie will expand to 2 different series or continue as one, and then
But
the
it's essentially like that movie, the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger movie takes place in like a different universe because when they went back to do the next season of the show, like
yeah, they
they got their they were ninjas like the Ninja Rangers, but they got their powers from Ninjor. So it's like the
Yeah.
events of the
So it
events
en
of the
so that
previous movie
series
and Ivan
ended in
Ooze,
that,
like none of
yeah.
it happened.
That's yeah.
And then they had like full face mask. They had like full masks actually too. It wasn't just like from here. They actually had it like go
The
all the
full
way over,
mask, yeah.
which was pretty cool. Like I remember that, but
Power Rangers.
yeah.
Power Ranger.
It was cool for the time. It was 90s, we loved it.
I know.
All right,
We
since
gotta
we've been
love our
talking,
generation. We
Mhm.
had
Yeah,
all the dopest
I
shit.
really do. Well,
We enjoyed
'cause
all the dopest
Yeah, we
things.
well, that's
definitely did.
when the technology for that time was better than the 80s, 70s, and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So we're lucky. We're
Dial-up
lucky.
internet.
And that's when,
Dial-up
like,
That- Hey, yo,
we do know, like,
God.
comics and TV series, have
Yeah.
been around before that, but I still feel like, yeah, 90s were the best times where they had
90s,
the best.
2000 is when
90s,
everyone had the
yeah,
best ideas for
mid-90s
comic movies
to
to come out.
No, mid-90s to mid-2000s, I guess. That's
Well,
when
I
they
mean,
had
look
the
at how
best.
Marvel did it. I mean, we were in high school when Iron
Iron
Man
Man came
came
out?
out.
Yeah. It was like 17 when that came out.
So they had
Damn.
those 10 years planned already since before we were probably even born. So it's like knowing that they had that type of movie ready for us.
I mean, well, they still had to wait because obviously it had to do,
I mean,
it had
now
to do
we're
really well at the box office
now we're
before.
adults,
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
now we're getting to see the new upcoming.
And see,
heroes
that's what
that's
the
gonna,
time
that's gonna
changed.
attract the new
Because we
generation.
were talking about
but
how,
our generation heroes were
the
amazing.
early times, the shows or movies, they were for kids. But now I feel like it's the other way around. Like, yeah, they're meant for kids, but they know it's the adults.
Well,
that
the
really
box
wanna see
office is
them.
gonna be us going to go watch it. Like we're the ones who still love superhero movies.
Yeah, because we're the ones that grew up in that time frame. So they
Mhm.
know the adults are the ones that are really going to want to see. And yeah,
Well,
the
taking their
kids.
kids.
Yeah, they're taking their
Yeah.
kids. So that's their excuse. Oh, I'm going to take my kid. But in
Actually, watching
reality,
it.
they're
Come
like
on, little
eating their
Timmy,
own
I'm gonna take
popcorn.
you to the movies. I'll give you an extra large popcorn.
Oh man, awesome. Great times, right? Great times.
Awesome times.
So I'll continue with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
hmm
Who is your favorite? Or who do you think is the best?
Who's the best, or who do you feel like you're the most to?
No.
Or just overall, the best
Favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
favorite.
Could be the best to you, but just favorite
Yeah.
in general.
I wouldn't call
like,
him the
Yeah.
best, but he's my favorite just because I like almost all the things he likes. But it's Mikey. I love skateboarding. I'm a skateboarder.
course.
I love pizza. He loves pizza.
Mhm.
He's the dorky one, and I'm I'm the dorky one in this freaking group. So
Oh, you are, yeah.
Mikey's the most relatable to me. But if I had to say strongest, it's between Leo and Ralph.
Oh, we never
Just
said
because of their
strongest.
dedication to
Just your
always
favorite.
wanting to be. But
Yeah.
what about you?
Well, my
Roops?
favorite,
Who's your
damn.
fave?
Damn. Nah, I would either go
Wearing all blue.
Ralph or Mikey. Nah,
Rough.
I would
Ralph?
go Ralph. I don't know why, just because sometimes I feel like I have a loud mouth too. Or I feel like a hard ass, or I don't
You
think
jump
about,
into
or I
things
jump
without
into
any-
things without thinking, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to take action right away and not worry about the long term
You
outcome.
don't think about the consequences.
Exactly.
Don't be like that, Ruben.
I know, man. But
Don't be
sometimes
like
it just
that.
happens. Sometimes I just want to jump into action or
No.
just do what I had to right then and there. And
Definitely.
like you said, like not worry about the consequences. And yeah, they might backfire, but hey, I learned
At the
from it.
moment.
I learned from it. Hey, Ralph always learned from it.
What
I
about
could learn
you?
from it.
The hard way he learns.
Nick.
Yeah,
What about you?
definitely.
Probably a toss up for me between Leo and Donnie. The
Leo,
only
Donnie,
reason
okay.
is just like Leo, they kind of like he's the only one sometimes like he kind of is just a little boring or a little bit bland because they don't really give him a whole lot of personality. It's just he's the prodigal son, he's the leader, he's stern,
Listens to
he's
Yep.
stern, and they don't really sometimes like most iterations don't really do a great job of fleshing out his personality and showing who he is as a person, like deep down. Like, does he have any doubts? Like, is there
yeah.
anything? Is it just what is it
They
about?
have a
Like, what
good
is
way
it
of
that he
portraying
like?
that though. Leo's the one who always has the most like sensitive moments too in the cartoons and in the movies that he
Eh, no,
has. I
more it's
mean,
more so
just
like Raph or Donnie. It's not
Yeah.
so much Leo. Like the
well,
I
like
think
you said, just the
the
way they
thing
make him seem like he's just
in the
like, oh, Mr.
Nickelodeon show, they actually
Splinter.
did a better job of like fleshing out his personality, and giving him
That's
like
true.
more human quality. Like he was like a bit of like a sci-fi nerd, so
Yeah.
Hmm.
it was interesting seeing him in that light. And he kind of like they did a lot more kind of stuff relating into who Leo is as a person. But I would probably say Leo or Donnie just because I feel like Donnie I feel like has like a lot of stuff going on with him just because he feels like he's the most ostracized or like odd man out because he is so smart and able to like do these things that like his brothers can't really relate
Well,
to.
he's
Well,
good
He's
with
him
a
and
tech.
Mikey
He's
are
a
genius.
tech man. That's
yeah,
why.
and then
Yeah.
it's like like Raph and
That's why
Mikey
I can't
are
relate
in the
with Donnie.
comics were like
Mike is just there to take the hits.
Mikey is there to take. That's why I could relate with him too.
Donnie's
Cause I'm
the
laid back.
brain.
I'm laid back as well. You know, so I could be the hard. I could be the see. I could hit you with the 180 sometimes. You know, be like, all right, I'll be this chill, laid back dude. Or but see, there's a side of me where they don't. You don't see the Ralph side of me as much. So I could compare more with Mikey than with Ralph. But you know,
In
it's a little
secrets.
bit of both
During the
worlds.
day, he's
Yeah.
Mikey, but at night, he's Raphael.
Raphael.
I actually thought it was interesting too because Raph was actually like the main character in the first
Hmm.
Ninja Turtle
They
movie they
give
did
him,
in
yeah.
1990. Like he was the one who had like the most screen time, and even though he wasn't the leader, like I just thought that was a little bit interesting. Like why
See,
did they
that's why a
choose to
lot
Right.
of
go that
people
route?
think he can be or he
Because
would
you
be the
said
leader
because Ralph
more
has that
screen time.
self doubt. If he's good enough for the team, you know, like he loves his brothers, he'll do anything he could do for them, but he never realizes like he's the strongest one from all of them. That and he's the one who always holds
Yeah,
them
that's what
down
I'm saying.
too.
He's the muscle
So
of
that's why I
them.
feel like Ralph gets the most screen time because he has the most personality. He's the one, he's that one character you want to know to get.
I feel like he's probably the most human because
Yeah.
he,
Just 'cause
you definitely see him,
He's
him in his
he's
moments
raw.
of
Yeah,
vulnerability.
yeah,
he's
he's
so
raw.
raw.
Yeah, not
He's
like
so, he
Mikey.
doesn't
Mikey's
hold
just out there
back or
jumping, doing flips. Donatello, he's a
he's just
sci-fi.
a
He's
sci-
nerd. He's a nerd, so he's out there going.
And then
you know,
Leo, he has too much on his mind to go on to express himself the way
which
he
is just a
actually
quiet
wants
one,
to.
so
Because
he's
he
on the
has to stay
side.
quiet. Yeah, he has to hold back his true emotions and all that. Like he can't, as a leader, he can't. He knows he's the leader, and as a leader, he can't be weak or he can't show that weak
Yeah,
side
but
or
I do get Nick on that.
or
He does get a lot of screen time, which is dope because Ralph is a really good
yeah. Because
turtle. Too.
like it's all, when
Probably
it
like
comes to movies like that, it's all about the action, and Ralph he brings all that action.
Yeah, Ralphie
He
does.
kicks
He's a
ass.
badass dude. He's a badass turtle, man. Like that shirt, man. Look, he's right
Yeah,
there
dope
flexing
shirt.
right there. The sick ass R, Ruben.
I
Sup?
don't know, nice shirt too, Ruben. Spidey right
Oh hell
there.
yeah, dude. Shout out to Stan Lee
I
too.
know,
Favorite right
legend.
here.
Rest in peace.
Favorite superhero right here.
Always.
Spidey. I like your shirt too. It's a little mix
Thank
of
you.
the
Little
whole
crossover.
of them all, right?
Yeah,
Superman,
Batman, Superman,
Batman,
Flash.
Flash. Is that
Yeah,
Green
all-
Lantern or Green Arrow? Green Lantern.
I would say Green Arrow. I wouldn't get Green Lantern.
Point is he's green. It doesn't matter.
Point is that he's
Nah,
green.
is he green?
yeah.
Let's
I don't know,
it's
'cause
left-
it's not
up to
all
your
green.
It's left to
interpretation.
interpretation, yeah.
I'm just saying. Just saying. All right.
But what's to come, Rubes?
What's to come? Oh, like I said, hold your thought on that Flashpoint, right, Nick? So
You
talking
did.
about that Flash, Ezra Miller, it's been confirmed he is gonna come back to portray the
Ooh,
role of the
okay.
Flash. Obviously with all this going on, on the
I like them.
coronavirus.
I actually like them as Flash.
it's
He
been,
took a different take, but
because they were gonna announce filming. The production was supposed to start recently. They were gonna announce it, but like I said, with everything going on, they had to postpone it, which is understandable. But yeah, it's been confirmed. Ezra Miller is coming back, and hold on, my bad. Let me make sure I phrase this right. All right, I don't want to mess it up for the people out there listening. Is it for real, and what can we expect? Because I know it said it's been confirmed, but anything can happen with all this time frame, all this gap.
I mean, this is more so because
It's-
two directors have already dropped out.
it's been a
And-
movie
Alright,
that's
so that's what I'm
it's
saying.
always
That's what I'm
being
saying. It's
pushed
been
back.
confirmed,
Yeah.
but anything can happen.
It's just either the storyline doesn't match with the director's views. They don't have the same vision. So, I mean, it's kind of like going back to the Gambit movie. You got
Mhm.
already a
Ah,
character that's
yeah.
established to what you want to see,
Yep.
but the storyline's not there yet. No one wants to take a hit with it.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's what the Flash is doing the same thing.
What do you
want them
think could
to.
happen? You think they will try to do like some sort? Well, see, that's what I'm saying.
I feel like we need a Flash
DCU
movie. Wonder Woman did good in the box office. So did Aquaman. I would want to see Flash get his own. I don't know about what was the other one in the Justice League?
Cyborg.
Yeah, I don't know about Cyborg getting his own, but
Not
I would
yet.
like to see Ezra.
It
He's
would be
supposed to.
cool.
Especially since Flash
Yeah,
is
he's
a
supposed
big,
to, but like that's another movie that's been in the talks.
but
for
Ezra's
so
a
long,
main.
too.
I mean, yeah, Flash is a main
But
character.
Urza, yeah,
in the
Flash,
Justice League,
yeah, he's
so
the main
he deserves
character.
a movie for
And
sure.
it's great too because I remember we talked about it, I think in the second episode, I believe, where they did that little crossover in Crisis.
Oh yeah,
Infinite
Grant
Earths.
Gustin
that
and
was pretty-
Ezra.
yeah,
Gustin and
that was
Ezra
pretty cool.
Miller. So that's been confirmed too. So they're all in the same universe.
Do you think- do you
And
think-
multiverse.
Do you think that would, yeah, the
multiverse, yeah, my
multiverse.
bad,
Do you
the
think that would
multiverse.
actually help DC bring in characters from the
Yeah,
CW into the
I really
DC
do.
movies?
Because
With
it
them doing that?
expands the way they could cross over things and the way the MCU is trying to do their TV series
The
nowadays.
DC could do the
DC
same.
Plus,
Yeah.
the Disney Plus, you know how they're doing their storylines and they're all connected, whether it's a TV series or a movie.
Yeah,
It's all connected. So I think that does help them a lot. And I think they did that on purpose. It took them a while, but I think they did that on
they're getting
purpose
the.
to do
They're
that,
getting,
you
they're going
know,
along. They're not. They're
to
getting.
connect everything, whether
Yeah.
it's TV series or movies,
Mhm.
animated, you know, any of that. I think they're just trying to make it happen now. But like I said, like I've been saying, the Marvel universe has been on top of their game for the
DCU
longest.
is the only
and
way is up.
10 plus years
DCU
now.
is the only way
I
is
don't know.
up. But anybody
Hey,
could catch up
stay
too,
persistent, Marvel. Stay
Yeah.
persistent.
man. Yeah. All right. So let me get into this a little deeper with the MCU. You guys heard how Robbie Downey Jr. wants to come back?
After Doodle flipped, sucked.
I don't know, man. It was good.
You like
I
it?
actually didn't
Yeah,
catch it.
that was-
Did you
I haven't
catch
seen it, but that's what
I didn't.
everyone's been talking about it. So that's the way I talked about it. From the trailers, it looked good. I love Robert Downey Jr. I've seen.
Well, it
every
just looked like a
he's
movie.
come
Like
out
this
in.
is the first movie he does after Iron
After
Man.
Iron
Like,
Man.
what? Why?
Why would you do
Yeah,
Doolittle?
dude.
I
And
thought
then
it
why
would
would
have been
he
like
do a movie
Sherlock
that's
Holmes or
already
Was it a
something,
Disney
like-
movie too?
I don't know.
No, I
probably.
don't think. I think it was an indie movie. I don't think
No, it wasn't
had
an indie movie.
Definitely wasn't an indie
No,
movie.
it wouldn't have. It would have been. It would not been playing on the TVs.
Well,
that
yeah,
much.
it's
It
Robert
wasn't-
Downey
Like,
Jr.
all the budget-
dude.
all
He's
the-
in the
the whole budget
Avengers.
would've gone
He's
to
in the
Robert
Downey
MCU.
Jr.
That was the
basically.
case.
See, I think that's what happened. I think he thought his name was so big, or I don't know. I'm not trying to blame it on him. He probably thought his name was so, or they thought his name was so big
that they would be able
that
to
they
sell.
thought like, okay, we don't need a big major endorsement from somebody.
But now that that movie did
And
not
since
make
it
that
flopped,
much,
and I'm not saying it's not because it wasn't his name. It just whoever was promoting it
Yeah.
or whoever was endorsing it, just it didn't
Yeah.
make
but
it happen.
now Robert Downey Jr. is
So
gonna
now
have
he
to ask
wants
for
to
less
come
pay.
back. So how do you think if it does happen? How
Mm.
do you think they could portray that role to happen? Like a TV series? I heard he wants to collab with Tom Holland.
Oh yeah, he wants to. Yeah, I've heard about that interview that he says that if he would come back as Iron Man, he would want to be with Tom Holland. He would want to
Some
work
sort of
with that. And he
collab,
would want
right?
to
Work
work with
with them.
Pepper Potts too.
Pepper Potts. I don't know about that. The way the MCU is moving forward now,
I mean, they have
but
a good amount of ways to bring him in. I mean,
They can.
Spider-Man 3. Hopefully, he could have a cameo in there. Since he does say he wants to work with Tom Holland, that would be a pretty great way. Maybe as an AI, or maybe as him leaving a last message to what's it called? Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
You never know. I mean, he is going to be on the run, but he might get to a point where he needs a
I
new.
forget
where
about that.
he's
sometimes.
he's going to be on the run. So he's at one point he's going to need a new suit.
That's
so
what
what
makes it
better way
interesting.
than being able to go back to the lab and creating his own suit? Maybe.
But that's the
then
thing. He still
he'll-
has that suit that Tony made for him. He just doesn't use it in his movies.
the well,
Tom
that's the
Holland.
Iron Suit.
Yeah.
But he already used it in Infinity War and
But it
Endgame,
doesn't
so it's
matter. That's
already
what I'm
been
saying. He
used.
has a suit though. He just
Yeah, but he
doesn't
created
use
a
it.
new one in Far From Home, so that means he's gonna have multiple.
Well, that thing was all beat to hell after the movie, though.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie.
So it might
That's
be something
true.
similar then.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, we'll probably see multiple suits. Hopefully, I mean, the way they're going with Spider-Man.
Mhm.
What do
a
you
lot,
think,
I
Nate? Do you
think.
think
Honestly,
come back
I feel like
somehow?
he should just stay dead. Honestly, just because I
Yeah.
feel like it's more impactful and it's just better. You know, there is just there because there. I feel like if it comes back, it's just like there was no real stake involved. It
He
was
already
like,
gives
his
the
sacrifice
character-
was kind of. I feel like if he were to come back, it would probably if what I would like to see if he was to come back was a cameo role or some kind of one and done
Cameo.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like maybe as an AI or he leaves a last message for Peter and that Peter didn't know about. That's the only thing I could think of work because I just
Doctor
want their
Strange too. I mean, they're trying to bring the Illuminati, and Iron Man was a big part of it. So maybe a cameo of him, maybe of another universe Iron Man where the Illuminati does exist.
But I feel like that's probably the only way it'll work for me. Otherwise, I feel like his sacrifice would have just been for nothing. If he's just gonna like, and then it's like the whole trope in like comics where nobody ever stays dead. It's like, you know, I just want to stay like that.
RDJ made Iron Man iconic. That he already killed the role. If he brings it back to where he's introduced in a whole movie, there's a chance where he might just ruin the character.
Do you think they'll try to do like a whole Gamora?
Come back from I mean, Gamora
a whole different time frame.
Well, I mean, that's where the multiverse might come in. I mean, he's already dead in our universe.
And that's how I'm looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy too. That's a whole different talk, but I'm looking forward to that too. Because who knows? They're not going to introduce her.
But yeah, no, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. I think is already confirmed to come out and replace some roles. I believe Ironheart is going to be a Disney Plus
that's what I was
series
going to bring up too.
They were talking about.
Is it confirmed though? Because I know
they're in talks about it.
That's what I want to see happen. If he is going to come out, but if he doesn't
that would be a great way to bring in
Pepper,
especially if maybe that's about his daughter Morgan.
Do you think she could really come out into Ironheart though? You think she really is going to?
Well, I mean, you already got in the deleted scenes, you have an older version that comes out of Morgan where what is it? Robert Downey Jr. goes to that same planet where Thanos sees Gamora after he.
It was like in something with the Soul Stone.
Yeah, something with the Soul Stone. So he ends up meeting his daughter when she's older. So if they do an Ironheart series and it's about maybe them bringing in that character, Catherine something, but she's the one from
Langford.
From 13 Reasons Why. She played the daughter, the older version of Morgan. So maybe bringing in Ironheart and bringing in her into the Disney series could be good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty tough for me to see him.
A cameo for Robert Downey Jr. would be better.
Tough. Yeah, I think a cameo, or if it is a one and done.
And now that we're talking about bringing back characters, don't bring Wolverine, please. Keep him dead. Wolverine. We don't need a new Wolverine in the MCU.
Different universe,
see, that's the thing, though. It's a different universe, and it's not in the same universe.
Hugh
that's
Jackman.
the thing about it, dude.
Hugh Jackman forever.
See, if only Hugh Jackman felt the same way RDJ feels. You know, like, oh, I want to come back. Or maybe they don't want to bring him back just because he did, you know, the Logan movie, and then it makes him look kind of dumb.
Hopefully Deadpool gets to bring him in. I know he's always trying to get.
He's always doing a shout out. Yeah, he's always doing a shout out.
Hopefully we get a cameo.
Well, there was something he said that he would have been interested in coming back, like right around the time Deadpool 2 came out. But then he reassured and said, you know, that like that's done. The character's done. Like I just want it to be done and over. Like
he was also in talks to be in an Avengers movie too.
Who?
Hugh Jackman. He said he would come back to come out as a cameo in there, but you know that's not gonna happen either.
I think that's what it was. He had talked about that after the acquisition with the rights back to the X-Men rights back to Marvel. But
yeah, maybe that's why they went back to Patrick Stewart and be like, "Hey, can you just come back for a cameo role?" I mean, they already have a newer Professor X. Hopefully, they bring in. James McAvoy is amazing Professor X. He's a great actor. James McAvoy, right?
Yeah.
McAvoy.
Yeah, I was right the first time.
Man, I'm looking forward to all that. That could come to that. But damn, RDJ, I don't know. Anything can happen, but I don't think. Please. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I really don't.
Shout out RDJ though, amazing Iron Man
right there. Look at that, right there on that corner. But man, yeah, it was a pretty good set of topics, right? How you guys feeling about them tonight?
Pretty good, despite the fact we were a man down.
Yeah, James, come back soon,
we
brother.
Miss you. Come back, man.
Feel better. You know, I think you're the hype man. I think we were missing a little bit of that energy. I don't know if it was because he wasn't here or I don't know, but I feel good. How you guys feeling?
Feel good.
Good. Glad to be here, guys. Right. Just stay safe again.
So that's all we have
for joining us.
Yeah, I'm feeling great, man. You know, I appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah. Keep watching, subscribe,
listening.
like Higher Passion. All of this has been brought to you by Higher Passion. Don't forget to listen to our other podcasts. We have multiple ones, not just Mutants and Heroes, but just come catch us, man. We got a lot of stuff to come.
Yeah, I'm Ruben.
I'm Nick.
I'm Josh.
And this is the Heroes and Mutants podcast.
Thank you guys so much.
See you.
Stay safe.